gonna help me? I don't gotta do it alone anymore. And they're like, yeah, girl, yeah. Hey y'all, it's Chimdi. So in this video, I wanna talk all about the Adobe Creator Camp. It is this 7-week program that I have been a part of. I referenced it, you know, in earlier videos, like, oh, this cool creative stuff I'm getting to do. And this has been easily one of my favorite creative things that I've gotten to do. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about the things that I have learned as a result of being in this creator camp and just the ways that it has like totally just like, like it's been awesome. I'm so freaking grateful that I've been able to be in this program, that God gave me this blessing, that Adobe offers this program, and this is very much free advertising for Adobe, and I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad because it's just been such an amazing experience. That is gonna be the point of this video. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Give me a subscribe if you haven't already. We are growing the channel, baby. I gotta grow the channel now that Adobe's helping me. What would I look like if I didn't grow my channel after Adobe was like, here's some skills, girl. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm so excited. Let's go ahead and get started. So this creator camp is not the first dope thing I've gotten to do since quitting my job and being a full-time creative. I talk about in my video around my first voiceover gig opportunity, how much that experience taught me and reinforced so much. And so a lot of things that I've learned from that experience definitely carry over, but this experience especially has taught me some new things. So one of the first things it taught me was truly how much you can unconsciously be undervaluing yourself. I think sometimes when we think about applying for something that we haven't heard of or that sounds so cool and interesting, we think, well, I'm not good enough for that. They're not gonna accept me. They're not gonna want me. And so you take yourself out of the running before the race even starts. I only found out about this program because of something I referenced in the voiceover gig, which is my network. Elise, who is an amazing, amazing creator, actually DM'd me and told me about this program. She herself is an Adobe Creative Resident, which is its own separate awesome thing. She was like, hey girl, I think you'd be good for this. I didn't know about the program otherwise, so I wouldn't have even applied because I didn't even know about it. So yay for networks helping us out. And as I was applying, I had all those voices in my head saying,
you're not even gonna get it, you're not even good enough for this, Adobe is way too big of a deal.
The only point of that hater ass voice is to keep you from being as great as you know you are. So I ignored it, as I must and as you must too, and I got the application in, and lo and behold, I was accepted for it, which was so freaking cool. And this is not the first thing that I've applied for. Kind of thought like,
I mean, might as well.
And then I read this thing a while ago on Twitter, and it was about a woman who set for herself a goal of 100 rejections. So she made the goal getting rejected from things. And as a result, because she had a goal of getting rejected, she ended up applying for more stuff and then of course booking more stuff. So that actually was like really on my mind earlier in the summer when I was thinking about going after my creative dreams. I'm so excited because for the most part, I'm being met by acceptances when I actually try and put myself out there. So already in just the application process, I was having to fight past those ideas around how we undervalue ourselves. But then once I was in the program, what's amazing about it is that it's a 7-week program and you've got these amazing mentors who are, you know, creative residents and other folks, and you get a weekly time where you can just ask them all the questions that are on your heart about the actual lesson for that week or about whatever else, which is amazing. So this company reached out to me to actually sponsor one of my videos. And this would be my very first ever sponsored video. It still has not come out yet. I still have not created it. We're gonna see, y'all. I don't believe nothing until the actual check is deposited, all right? Until then, it's all just hopes and dreams. If it all works out, this will be my very first sponsored video, which is so dope and such a milestone for me as a creator on YouTube especially. They offered me a little bit less than what I normally make from voiceover gigs, which is a couple $100s. And I was like, I'm excited that, you know, they're offering me money because many companies will reach out and they're like,
yeah, we don't actually have a budget.
And I'm like, okay, then keep that. They're actually offering me money, which is a great first step. But I was like, if I could make more than this with less work,
why would I do this?
So I actually reached out to Elise and I was like, hey girl, they're offering me this money. This is kind of what I'm thinking for the video. I would be okay with like $200. She was like, ask for $350 so you can negotiate down to $200. And she gave me other advice around like how long they should have rights to the video and stuff like that. So I sent them an email and I was like,
all right, this is my vision. I can negotiate, but my rate is actually $350.
They were like, all right, bet. All right, bet. They didn't even negotiate. And just the fact that I was willing to accept way less than that, it just shows how easily and how unconsciously we can be undervaluing what we're worth, and how helpful it is to have people who mirror to you, hey, you can actually be worth way more if you just ask for it. Such a game changer. And I would not have had that experience had it not been for me being in that camp. And this isn't the first time this has happened where I've been thinking a much lower rate for a service I offer and I've had to have someone say,
dang, you really don't want to charge for something, huh?
Because it feels uncomfortable, you know, especially when it comes to creative stuff, where it really just feels like a blessing and a gift to even be doing creative stuff. So to then ask for money on top, you're just like, am I being greedy? To realize like, no, you are worth what you are worth and you should ask for it. The next thing this camp has really taught me is that you can always be doing something better. So I have been up until this point completely self-taught on Adobe. I've been using it for a couple of years now, and with everything, it just takes practice and practice and practice. But the Premiere Pro program is such a dense program. So there is so much you can do. There's so many levels to it. So even after years with the software, there's still so much. There were whole buttons that are like on the home homepage that I just never even pressed. And literally, I was moved to actual tears. If you've seen my previous video about my weeping, you already know this is a normal part of my lifestyle, but still, I was moved to actual tears when I watched the very first lesson, which was just about organization. It was just about here's how you can set up your files so that every time you start a new project, things are totally organized and you can just immediately get started on creating. And literally, I wept because it was such a basic, fundamental thing about how to create, and I had not been doing it. And it's like I could feel the hours of my life that I'd already given to the old system of doing it that was so inefficient, and all the hours being returned, given back to me as a result of this one simple tip. It moved me so fundamentally, and just realizing that there's so much. That's just one example, and I kept learning and have continued to learn all these tips and tricks, and I'm just like, yo, if I'd known this 2 years ago, the way I could have saved so much time. Oh, but I'm so happy. I'm so glad I know it now. Already I have a learning student mindset, and you have to when you're doing creative stuff. So I already know there's a lot to learn, but just realizing on such a fundamental level, basic things I could have been doing so much better. It's humbling, and I'm just really grateful, y'all. I'm just thinking about the time. Y'all, I spent hours editing. Hey y'all, it's Chimdi. So let me know in the comments what's going on in terms of you applying for things that you want and actually getting it. Do you let that happen? Do you usually get it, or do you get rejected? How do you feel about rejection when it does happen? Do you roll with the punches? Do you let it get you down? Do you know what's God's plan? Let me know and let me talk about it with you, all right? Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get back to it. Another thing that I already knew, but being in this camp has reinforced, is just how powerful community is. I've only ever worked professionally in the nonprofit space. All of my colleagues, they cared about education and public policy and social policy and workforce development. And these things are so important, but also I do not care. That's not what I care about. My heart isn't in that. I just learned that conferences can be fun. And I haven't even actually gone to one yet that's fun. I just learned for the first time that when you go to a conference that's focused on your passion and you're surrounded by other people who care about that same thing as much as you do, and they're excited to learn, and you have experts in that field who then teach you about that thing, I'm like, that would be amazing. Because the only conferences I've been to have been ones about public policy, and I'm just like, who cares? It's genuinely so important, but I just don't personally care, And so to go to these calls, to be in the Slack groups, to have these conversations with other people who care about the stuff that I care about, and they really care, and I also really care, I'm just like, it's so amazing. I feel like this is what it's like. I was gonna say something so rude. I was gonna be like,
I feel like this is what it's like to be in a loving family.
But my family is wonderful. But to just be held, where you're just like, we all get it. We all love this. We all love this. It makes me so happy. And I think because so much of my professional career has not been having these kinds of conversations and being around these people, I really didn't even know what I was missing. And I remember having this moment when I watched that first video where I was just like, I didn't even think this was possible. Like my mind wasn't even big enough to think that I could do stuff that I love. Not even just like, oh, I'm good at this. I like this. I love this, y'all. I really, really like doing this stuff. And to realize that I could actually have a life, I genuinely thought, and I know so many people genuinely think that they have to suffer. They can't conceptualize it, because I couldn't conceptualize. When people would say,
oh, I wake up every morning and I love my job. I love what I do.
I'd be like, you are so lucky, and I hope you fucking realize that. Like, I wasn't even happy for them. I was just like, you motherfucker, you're so lucky. I couldn't even relate to that idea, to the fact that I am coming close to it. If not, I'm already kind of here, and getting the chance to just learn and be surrounded by these people who care about this stuff the same way I do, and knowing that it's just the beginning. I still haven't been to an in-person conference yet. I would love to go to an in-person conference, just to go to things where everyone is like, isn't this great? And you're like, yeah, this is great. I'm just like, what? And I know that's in my future now, because I didn't even know it was possible for me. I'm just so incredibly blessed, and so and that's just that community piece. When you're self-taught, you really just have this mindset of, okay, everything that I want to learn, I have to figure it out myself, I have to Google it, I have to research it, I've got to trial and error everything. So to actually have this mindset shift of
no, you can just ask for help,
and someone will help you, and it'll save you so much time. I asked Talisa a question. She literally made me a video tutorial about the specific question, and I was just like, if you're not used to asking for help and then getting help, it really means a lot when people help you. And that's just what it's felt like, is like, y'all are really helping me. I really appreciate it. I feel like a kid. I feel like my wounded inner child is just like, they really gonna help me? I don't gotta do it alone anymore. And they're like, yeah, girl, yeah. And obviously I know it's not completely altruistic. Obviously I'm using Premiere Pro, and that is a software, and I'm talking about it now, which will probably get more folks to, be interested in the software. It's not entirely selfless what the company is doing, but it still just really means so freaking much. And y'all know I talk about this in basically every video, and I gotta talk about it again, and that is the way the Lord blesses you if you let yourself be blessed. Just the camp in general is such a huge blessing. But on top of that, with the Creator Camp, you get 6 months free of the Adobe Suite. I currently pay around 25 bucks a month. So that's literally hundreds of dollars, not even to count the other parts of the Creative Suite like Photoshop and After Effects and things like that. So that's hundreds of dollars that God has just given me on top of the amazing community and experience and learning that is the camp itself. And that is what it's been like. Like, I literally feel like I just jumped off the cliff of being a creative, and God is like, here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. And I'm just like, thank you. Thank you. And you know what's so interesting? I actually talked to another person who was in the camp. I was talking to her about how, excited and blessed I felt to be in this program, and how I actually was kind of feeling uncomfortable about making a video about it because I wasn't sure if people kept wanting to hear good news from me. And she was just like, girl, what? And that's how I knew that was trauma. Because I was just like, yeah, people are happy for you up to a point, but they don't want to hear you doing too well, because then they're gonna be like, And really, clearly, that's just me. That's just my stuff. I have a part of me that's a real hater who I'm actively trying to heal, because I've got that. I'm assuming that you all lovely people are the same, and you wouldn't want to keep hearing, about the good stuff. And I do think there is something to wanting to hear all sides of the journey, which is why I made that video about this healing journey, where I was really, And I'm back, y'all, by the way. Thank you all for the lovely comments on that video. I'm doing a lot better now. I am still weeping pretty much every day, but I have a much different mindset around it. She really affirmed for me, like, no, people want to hear you succeed, And I just think that's important for me to remind myself of how much of life I still am looking at it through a trauma lens. And I have to just constantly surround myself with people and have conversations with people who are affirming, like, no girl, you are worthy of love. People do want to see you shine. I'm just like, okay, all right. Those are my reflections. Those are the things I've learned so far. It has genuinely been so freaking cool, y'all. I'm so excited. Also, there's like a whole world of creative residencies and programs and grants and all these things. And I'm just like, I had no idea this world existed. There's a whole world that exists separate from the world that you know. And I'm just like, dang. And I just know that this opportunity is gonna lead to so many other opportunities that I can't even imagine yet. And I'm just so pumped to experience them. People are always leaving me comments like, I'm so excited to see what happens in your life. And I'm like, me too. You think I know what's gonna happen? This is a thrill. I look at my life like I'm one of y'all, where I'm like, damn, what's she gonna do next? What's she up to? Like, I don't know, where's she going? Who knows? Who knows? Where you gonna be next month? Girl, I don't know. I'm just gonna go on a flight and see what happens. This is God's plan. All right, y'all, hope you liked this video. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you did, subscribe to see more, and I'll see y'all in the next one.